And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mitsubishi doesn't have a large following in the vintage audio market, but maybe they should. They built some fine products. Today I'm going to show you the A10 amplifier, the M10 meter assembly, the P10 Pre-Amplifier, and the F10 Tuner. All great Mitsubishi products from the middle to late 1970s. The Mitsubishi components in this video have moved on to a new home. From time to time, I'll trade folks equipment, and I did a trade. I'd like to do a video on it because I think it's great equipment. So let's get started with the Da-A10 power amplifier. I received this Mitsubishi Da-A10 power amplifier along with the other Mitsubishi components several years ago. I purchased it from a gentleman here locally who purchased it here locally back in the middle 1970s. So as you guys know, I like the story behind the equipment, if there is a story to pass along. And I got it home, and like I always do, I'd take a look at it first. Even though this gentleman had had it powered up recently and had indicated it worked fine, I still took a look at it, and it was a little bit dusty. What do you expect? But it was in very nice cosmetic shape overall. It was in its cabinet for years, and so it really didn't get any type of scrapes, scratches, or got beat up like a lot of this old equipment does. I took the bottom cover off, like I always do, again, just to take a look. I didn't see anything. It's all wired point to point with wires, and that was the way they did it back in the middle, late 70s and a lot of equipment. No issues, and I went ahead and I powered it up on the test bench along with the meter assembly, and powered up fine. And so then I went ahead and I did a little bit of bench testing on it just to do it. And as you can see here also, the meter assembly is attached to it. I show the one picture up here in the beginning with the meter assembly off. That meter assembly was an optional unit that you could purchase for this amplifier. And so he had purchased this optional meter assembly, and it worked fine too. And one nice thing about this unit, it had all of the cables that you need to hook the amplifier to the meter unit, and a lot of times those are missing. They're missing because they're detachable. Any unit that has a cord that you can detach from it is a lot of times gone after 30, 40, 50 years. The Mitsubishi Da-A10 was rated at 100 watts per channel from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and at 0.1 total harmonic distortion. Next up is the Da-P10 Pre-Amplifier. It's also in nice shape. It's a little bit unusual in that it doesn't have a balance control, but it does have individual level controls for each channel. The RCA inputs are on one side of the unit, and the AC outlets are mounted on the other side of the unit. It's always a good idea to remove the covers and look inside any piece of unknown equipment. I didn't really see anything. You've got to get in there and clean those pots and those switches up, just like in any piece of vintage equipment. I removed the faceplate from the preamp so I could clean that also, and then I'm able to use the deoxit on the pots and switches. I'm able to remove those from the chassis, and it's so much easier to get the deoxit where you need to and to properly clean the controls. You need to exercise those controls back and forth 20, 30, 40 times. It's just going to take you a little bit of time, but by doing that, you'll make sure the pots are clean. You won't be back in here doing that again. What I've done is reinstalled the covers, I've reinstalled the faceplate and the knobs, and I'm going to do a little bit of testing of the Da-P10 preamp on the test bench. And it sounded great. Didn't sound like it had any issues. And finally, we have the Da-F10 Am Fm Tuner. It's a great sounding tuner, and it's pretty selective. You put it in the stack here with the preamp and the power amp, and you've really got a nice looking stack of gear. And now it's time to listen to this Mitsubishi vintage equipment. It is outstanding. This is another example of a brand that a lot of people don't follow. Most of us know the Pioneers and the Sansuis and the Marantzas of the world, but companies like Mitsubishi just kind of go by the wayside. And some of the best values in the market today are companies like Mitsubishi. They were built with the same quality that the Pioneers, the Sansuis, and the Marantzas of the day were. Don't overlook Mitsubishi audio products when you see them out there. They're very well built, and this is an example of something that's 45 years old. Still looks great, still sounds great, and it'll be running in another 50 years. I hope you enjoyed my Mitsubishi component video, and if you did, please leave me a big thumbs up down below. And for you non-subscribers, if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And to my present subscribers, as I always say, thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.